In a Word document, sometimes you end up with what they call widows and orphans. There are also certain times where you have what they call runts. The runt and the widow and orphan are involving lines of text that are really short or that are kind of hanging out there by themselves. So for example, this one, where it has the word idols, would be considered a runt because it's a very short phrase or word that's at the end of a sentence on the line by itself. These are not especially problematic. If you were in publishing and proofreading, it might be an issue, but for us, it's not an issue. To look at paragraphs, and I've exaggerated this by including more hard returns here than I needed, but just for demonstration purposes, if you see a line like this hanging out at the bottom of a page, it could be a heading or just a line that continues on the next page. This single line here is what we call an orphan. It's the stranded first line. They also call them lonely lines. So it's hanging out here at the bottom by itself. Now, yes, I could go ahead and take these hard returns out, but I'll show you in just a minute how to keep all of these together if you need it. So if I were going to do that, let's say, for example, that would be an orphan. Something like this, the popular acts of the decade, that is considered a widow. It's a stranded final line, so it's by itself on the top of the next page. So how do you get around having those issues? Well, granted, in this case, I could just take the extra spaces out and format it as such. So if you can't do that, let's just say there's more text here, you would highlight the section of the document, or you can highlight the entire document if you need to, and you would go under the Home tab to this paragraph group. You would click here on the dialog box. You would go to the Line and Page Breaks option, and under that tab, you could choose Widow Orphan Control, and you could also choose to keep with next and to keep the lines together, because if it knows this is all one section, it will try to keep all of that together. So when you click on OK, you can see it knows that's a whole section together that I've highlighted, so it moves that to the next page. And again, I could have just easily formatted this by taking out the extra space, but you should get the idea from that. If you do have those extra lines, you can get rid of those through that widow and orphan control. One other issue with breaking your lines is when you experience that with tables. Let's say, for example, you have this table and it is breaking across pages, which you do not want to do. So you could either go here and press Control Enter to put it on the next page. You can highlight the table and go back into your paragraph settings and choose those options to keep it together, and it will move it to the next page for you.